What's up? I just got back home. Like literally, I've been in the house for less than 10 minutes at this point. I just landed in Houston, probably not even 30 minutes ago. My husband dropped me off at home. I got a lot of packages and stuff to open. I was gonna do a video of, like I told you guys, my experience. However, I don't think a story of such magnitude is one that needs to be rushed in being told. So I'm gonna have to sit down. Me and God gonna have to have a conversation, because I want that story to be told the right way and not, I don't want it to be rushed, and I don't want it to be all over the place. That's what I'm gonna say, because there's very important points, and I don't want how I currently feel or how I have recently felt to deter anyone from making a decision that might change their life. But I do want to let you guys know the real. So for everybody who is shipping out to MEPS, I'll have videos coming. You'll have videos all this week. I'm going to do the basic training. Like, I have my bag, the stuff that I actually bought, the stuff that I didn't use. I have a few things that they gave us, basic training, period hacks. I'm going to do all those kind of videos, and we're going to get into some things that they don't tell you before you go to basic training. We'll get into all those things, okay? And I think in that video is when I'm going to roll out the story for you guys, or I might just roll it out over time, because y'all know, when I tell a story, I'm not one for being messy. You know what I mean? If the story ain't going to help nobody, it don't need to be told. It doesn't need to be told. And that's just how I feel about it. So I'm looking at this tracking information. Miss Clark, your package was sent out, and I don't know whose package it is. So before I left, we did a live giveaway. That live giveaway video is not like posted up to be seen by anyone, because I feel like if you're gonna be there for the live, you're gonna be there for the live. If you're not gonna be able to see it on replay. And in that video specifically, I didn't want to get in trouble for some of the things that I was saying, so I didn't post it. But I think I'm gonna leave it at that. If you make the live, you make the live, and if you don't, you're not gonna be able to see what happened in the live. So everybody who's in the live know what went on. And Brittany, I don't think your package, I don't see the stuff, but at the end of the day, there's like a ton of stuff over here. I don't see. Girl, I just got in the door. I don't see the stuff, but I don't remember my husband telling me that he got your address from my email. So if you didn't send your address to my email, okay. So, should I open this stuff right here? Let's open this. Let's see what we got. Let's see. This is something fun. But how have you guys been? Remember I said I was going to do the yard sale? I was going to do like a little giveaway sale. I'm still going to do that. I just have to plan it out. And then also, I guess I can tell you guys this too, because this is stuff that you should look out for coming up. I mentioned I'm going to archive the Facebook group, because y'all really don't be communicating in there like that. And yeah, you know me. Y'all don't be communicating in there like that. We communicate a lot on here on YouTube. And I told you guys when I first started that Facebook group that eventually I wanted to do like traveling with, amongst the ladies. It's definitely gonna be like a women's kind of travel group. I'm sorry for the fellas that watch, but until further notice, it's gonna be a ladies thing. So it's not gonna be you and your man. It's gonna be kind of like girls trips. We have one that's coming up. It's gonna be a cruise, so be on the lookout for it. Of course, I'm gonna give you guys more details. And I'm not going to do it in like a Facebook group. It's going to be like you get accepted into something like the Band app or like a WhatsApp, kind of like a group message. I'm looking at Band because I can like post like pictures and stuff on there. And then you're going to pay like your deposit. I haven't worked out all the kinks. I just got in the house. Okay. You're going to pay a deposit, and then you're going to end up paying your money directly to the cruise line, but it's going to be like all under a group rate. As of right now, I have 1, 2, 3 ladies that are going. So I'll be the 4th one. And let me tell you right now, if nobody goes, I'll be going alone. So that's how we're going to roll that out. But like I said, keep your eyes peeled, especially if you've been wanting to go on like a cruise, you've been wanting to take vacation, but you haven't been able to like put it together or just found people to put it together. I'm going to put together a little something. And I'm really excited about that, because I'm one of those people, like I like to do adventurous things, and you can't always find people to do it. And I will say, if you're one of those people, because I met a lot of them over the course of my little extended stay, honey, if you're one of those people who just can't seem to get along with other people, stay home. Stay home. Don't even pay your deposit, okay? If you're one of those argumentative people where everything you say is right and everything everybody else says is wrong, just stay home, because I won't be the person to deal with, and I don't want you to waste your money or your time. Okay, so if you genuinely want to go out and have fun, you know, it's going to be very adult fun. You know what I mean? Not saying we can go to the club, not saying we won't have, you know, little drinks and things like that, have a good time, because that's, you can still be grown and have a good time, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You get me? You feeling me? So it's going to be kind of a girls trip thing, and I know for certain that the first trip is going to be a cruise. I want to go on the Carnival Mardi Gras cruise because I actually want to do the first trip as a Mardi Gras trip, but it's too close for me to plan it out, you know, to the T like I want to plan it out. Girl, we're going to have t-shirts and everything. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Another thing is, I'll announce it. I'll put a little post for it, but just look out for it on the website when the website does get updated. I told you guys that I wanted to give back. You know, my channel, though I do a lot of things, my main goal is to give back to people who are in the situation that I was once in. So I'm going to have a tab called Helping Hands on my website where you can share your story and then get some help for what you're trying to. So I'm not trying to pay your rent. I'm going to just say that. I am trying to push you in the right direction. Remember, I told you there was a point in time where I needed small things like I needed a bus card. I needed some money for job interview clothes. I needed money to just do little small things. And this little Helping Hands tab on my website is going to be to give back and help women who genuinely, like, honey, maybe you got a $70 phone bill that's due and you just can't get it $70. So for right now, I'm going to do it once a month. It's going to open, but if if the stories pour in and there's genuine needs, as the Holy Spirit leads me, that's what I'm going to do. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if you know someone who is in need or something like that, and it's going to be a genuine approach. I'm not on here just giving out money and I'm not trying to gain anybody by giving out money. I genuinely want to help people who want to be helped. So if you're one of those beaters, and a lot of people don't know what that word means. I guess the Louisiana thing. Beater, like system beater. Like you think you're going to get over on me, you're going to also be blocked, okay? So I would hate to have to do that to you. But we don't want to do that. We want to help people who genuinely want to be helped. That's another thing. So I talked about the travel thing. I talked about the Helping Hands thing. Also, in the Helping Hands tab, I am going to be able to build resumes for you. So I'm going to do the resumes 100% free. You'll have all the information on there. So if you are a person, you're looking for a job, you're looking to get in the work field, perhaps, I don't know. You don't know how to build a resume. I'm not talking about you don't have time. This is not for the person who doesn't want to find the time to do it. This is for the person who doesn't know how to do it, okay? So yeah, I'll take some time out of my day and I'll build a resume for you and then send it to you. So I'm going to have that offering on there as well. And yeah, so that's how we're moving forward. Because when I tell you guys, I can't wait to tell you guys the full story, but I realized that no matter where you go, honey, you're going to be you. So if you ain't good, if you ratchet and you underhanded and you be doing underhanded stuff, nowhere you go is going to hide that. And the same is true if you're just a person that likes to help people. If you're just a person who is about God's heart for his people, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, that part of you is always going to be brought out. That's what I learned. Okay, so I'm open to some of this stuff and I realized I can't really show you all this stuff.
I just got home. I just got in the car. Oh, look at this. My husband decorated my seats. That is so cute. Look at this. So cute. You can't tell me that ain't cute. Girl. Okay, it's Oliver. Girl, look at that. A little shiny something. That's so cute. He's so thoughtful. That is so cute. Look at that. Girl, that look nice. I like it. I'm about to go get me something to eat. Got out of breath because I was running because it's raining. I have so much to say right now. Ooh, baby. The lightning though. All right, so it is 9:05 p.m. Everybody in the house is asleep, so they've been going to sleep real early while I've been going, which they usually do anyway. But I have a lot of work to do. So to prepare ourselves for a good week,
next week, I'm just gonna pick up all this stuff. I'm about to show y'all what my whole desk and like craft situation looks like. I have a lot of packages to open, but y'all know I'm like, I'm gonna open them for content. Like I'm gonna be smart here. So I don't know what I'm gonna get to open and what not, but I do have a few good things. Like you can't even see it. I have a microphone on right now, but it has a wire. Like it's connected to my phone. I bought a wireless one. All these packages I bought, like I just put all this stuff in my car before I left for Christmas, and then my husband bought them while I was gone, and everything is here today. So I'm gonna do that. I also need to update my website with all the stuff that I told you guys about earlier today. I'm gonna get all of this stuff done tonight, so it's probably gonna be a long night to me. I might work into the morning, but this is really how it goes, okay? Small business owner, small entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, it's time consuming, and you know, I never want you guys to forget that part. Okay, so as we know, none of this stuff is cleaned out. I might work on this at some time this week, cleaning out these little bins. And when I say cleaning out, I just mean organizing them. They're not really organized. I think these two are the shipping stuff, but all of this stuff kind of needs to be organized. But there's no room on my desk for the new Cricut machine. So we got this from Amazon. I'll link this below. Let's see what it looks. I'm gonna show you how it does. So it folds out like that. It opens, the little cabinet opens. Oops, try to do this with one hand. Yeah, little cabinet opens like that. So you can put, it's really supposed to be like for sewing machines, but like I'm gonna use it as an extension to my craft thing. It's probably gonna be like the area that I make, like do stuff for the Cricut on. So this is probably gonna have all Cricut supplies in it. I don't know how it's gonna go, but this is really cute. So it has these, which I could probably hang bracelets or something on. I'm gonna work it out. And yeah, this little storage under here. So what I imagine it goes like this. Yes. So let's yes, so that's how it goes. So it stretches out like that, but then it folds up really nice and neatly. As you can tell, there's really no room for it, so I'm gonna have to figure out where it goes. But there it is. Because here's the small one. The small Cricut is right here, the Joy, and the other one is way too big. And I know it's way too big because here's the box for it right here. So I'm not gonna go over there showing you all the boxes because they have my address all over them. And no, that's not my address right there. That's my address all over them, but I have a lot of boxes over there. So let me get to opening up this stuff so we can start gaining some type of organization in here. All right, so here are all of the packages. Let's get them opened up. And then I don't know if I mentioned this earlier today, but Brittany, your package is right there. I need your address in my email so that I can get that sent out to you. Because Miss Clark, your item you should have already received at this point. Yeah, so let me get to opening this stuff because I completely forgot what's in there. All right, so I have it fully unboxed here, and this thing is beautiful. And I didn't do this on purpose, like coordinate the colors. So I bought this little mini iron as well. It's just, remember when I was making those shirts for the massage stuff? So if I need to do something like that, I don't have to use like my home iron. I can use something that's actually designed for. So I went ahead and bought this, but I didn't realize that I coordinate the colors. If you don't know, green is my favorite color. So the little minty green tealness of it all is really cute. But here it is. I'm not going to waste too much time setting it up right now because, honey, I got other stuff to do, okay? And then here's the other one. So this is the one that I had. This is the Cricut Joy. And if you can see the size, it used to be back there, like in that little corner. Let me see, I'll show you right there. It used to be right back there. This is not going to fit there, which is why we bought this. So let me see what I can do as far as setting everything up. Yeah, and I'll get back to you guys. So I'm completely finished. Everything over there is organized. This is, of course, my iPad and stuff is not gonna stay up there, but this is the design that I went with. I just opened it up and then set the stuff up there, and then those boxes, I'm pretty sure my husband's gonna take them out in the morning. I cleaned out this closet over there that has craft stuff in it as well. And then this stuff right here, I'm actually gonna clean this out. I'm not in a rush to do it because this is supposed to be like the spa stuff, but I'm gonna take all that spa stuff, put it back in the massage closet, and I told you guys we're gonna sort through all that stuff and all that kind of good stuff. But for the most part, everything's done. All right, so anyway, like I was saying, for the most part, everything is complete. I'm gonna load, like I said, that spa stuff on my spa cart that's in the massage closet, but I'm gonna load the massage table and stuff back in my car. So I'm not in a rush to do that. I did see an appointment that I was thinking about taking yesterday, but somebody took it. So, I mean, not yesterday, to tomorrow. Girl, almost today. It's 11:43. So, I haven't gotten to any of the administrative stuff because I've literally been cleaning. And I just decided to do like a deep clean. Like I actually went through, started throwing stuff away. So, everything's clean over there like it should be. So, tomorrow, when I wake up, I have a grocery order to pick up. And lots of videos, planned videos to make. So the good thing is that I've already got the notes for the videos, so I don't have to worry about planning them. Yeah, that's the good thing. And before I go to bed, what I'm doing right now, I told you guys I was going to archive the group, the Facebook group. No one really comments like that in there, or won't be talking about too much. And not just you, me either. Because I feel like the videos that I put on my channel about massage and things like that, I really answer all the questions that you might have. And people, when people reach out to me, so if you do have a question and you reach out to me, I'm pretty swift at getting back. If I know the answer, if I don't know the answer, I'm simply just going to let you know that I don't know. But my idea for the group was to be like more of like community and, you know, just kind of like-minded togetherness, but that's really not what's happening. Like, I don't want, you know, I'm not saying, we got to what, 40 people in there, so it was a lot of people in there. I love it, I like it, but it's just not the direction that I'm going in. So y'all know, I don't fake the funk. I'm not about to just do something just because I started it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then another thing, when we do the lives, I'll see, like, I'll make an announcement in the group about the lives, and then the people who are in the Facebook group don't necessarily show up to the lives. So I think initially a lot of people joined the group to be a part of the massage table giveaway. And I told you guys before, and I continue to say, anytime I give away anything, you know, it's just simply I want to give that to someone like I think that they'll benefit well from it, not because I'm trying to gain followers or anything like that. So I'm deleting this group because that's just not my speed. And then, like I told you guys before, when we do the travel stuff, the only people who will have access to like communication within the travel group, because it's not going to be necessarily a group, it's kind of going to be like in a group in the sense of like Facebook group. It's going to be more like a chat with all of us in it and the information on there. The only people going to have access to that are those of you, those of us who have paid to be on the cruise. So you're not just going to have, you know, it's not going to be a spectator sport. Because believe it or not, even though I said multiple times, if you don't answer the questions to the Facebook group, I'm just gonna deny it. People still, I had a few people, not just one person, straight up click, because one of the questions I believe was like, kind of, what's your goal? I'm sorry. What's your goal in joining? And then one of the options is be nosy. Like, some people actually click that. Girl, I don't have time for that. I don't. You know I don't. I don't have time, the patience. I don't have. No, I'm not the one. So, yeah, I'm deleting all of this. I believe because remember, I don't think I told y'all that, but I went on like a wives trip a while ago. I was a part of a wives group on Facebook, and I was one of the moderators. So I kind of remember how you deleted, even though she didn't delete her group. She wanted to, but homegirl let that group take her down under, and I will not have any parts. I won't have any parts. So everybody is deleted as of right now. If you need any of the documents or anything that was in there, like I said, just shoot me an email, let me know. I'm not necessarily going to be answering emails about random things like that are not related. Like, hey girl, how you doing? I mean, that's what our lives are for. The lives are for us to like converse back and forth, but just like random emails, ask me how I'm doing and stuff like that, I'm not really going to do that. I know I'm not trying to be rude, but people are crazy. Just saying. And people think they know you and they really don't know you. Not that it's a bad thing to know me, but I'm just saying, like, like you gotta paint very clear boundary lines because people be getting a little twisted. So anyways, as you can see, my eyes are closing. My eyes heavy, heavy, heavy. It's 11:47. I'm gonna tuck this stuff away and go lay in the bed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And before we go, I said I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I just deleted the group, so it did work. I have to delete everybody out of the group first, including myself, and then delete the group. You can't delete the group without. I can't leave the group. I could not leave the group without assigning the group to like someone else, and I'm not doing that. Like, dude, if you want to start a group, start your own group. It's really that simple. But yeah, so I deleted it, and let me see. I deleted it, and yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So Facebook is really not my favorite. I'm finding this out. So I told you guys, I do. Speaking of, I do. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I have not been asleep. Like real sleep. I'm talking about a nap. I took a nap earlier. Okay. YouTube Shorts is going to start paying next month, so in a couple of days. Remember that. If you're monetized, I do Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I only do Instagram because it's like my portfolio. I told you guys when I had clients in suite, a lot of the clients found me there. So I like Instagram, like how it's set up. I don't necessarily get a lot of feedback as far as a lot of views and stuff like that on my shorts. I really don't care. Like I said, it's just my portfolio. I'm going to keep it for that reason. And then it links to South Seed and stuff like that. So it just kind of makes like let's say someone finds me on South Seed and they want to book a party, they can go over to my Instagram and see if I'm someone who they want to come and be their massage therapist for their party. So for that reason, I'm keeping it. Facebook is just a lot like complicated to me, all over the place, as far as even their shorts are concerned. So I think I'm about to delete Facebook off my phone altogether. I do kind of like their little marketplace thing sometimes, but even that, honey, I think I'm just going to delete them and then focus on YouTube and TikTok. And like I said, Instagram, it's not really a focus. It's just kind of like a portfolio, so there's no stress. And I would suggest that you do the same thing. Just find 2 of the platforms. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, baby. I would find 2 of the platforms that kind of work well for you, or 3 of them, but just find the platforms in general that work well for you. Don't tire yourself out, because when you're tired and you're making tired content and stuff like that, it's not what's up. All right, so for real now, I'm about to go to bed, and I will see you guys in the morning before I run. Hello, and good morning. So it's 7:36 a.m. and I am headed to go run, like I told you guys, and then I had to pick up some groceries. And I was gonna go run and then pick up the groceries, but it's 43 degrees outside, and I don't think that I picked up anything that needs to be like refrigerated immediately. But surely I don't have anything that will go, bad in this weather. So I'm gonna pick it up because it's the opposite direction. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna go run. What are we running today? We're running 1 mile. We're not doing anything silly. Okay, we're just running 1 mile. And we're gonna take our buns home because I have a lot of work to do. I need to do those basic training videos for you guys, gals. I just got a lot to do. Okay. So, but first things first is we have to get our movement in. Have you been getting your movement in? And I want to, I could be like, I want to just chill out because I just got home. But chilling out for a day turns chilling out for a week, turns chilling out for a month. And then next thing you know, we in June. And you look like you've been chilling out. Okay, you're feeling like, let's not even talk about looking like. You're feeling like you've been chilling out. So, I'm going to do that, and I will catch up with you guys. All right, later. It's 8:31, and I am done the run. I hope I said don't look like I'm sweating, but I am sweating, but it's like really cold outside. It's 44 degrees at this point. And I told you guys my hands, it's from standing outside in the cold at basic training for so long, but like they get, they lose their feeling quickly when I'm out in the cold weather. So yeah, I'm convinced that I had like frostbite while I was there, like a, what do you call it, frost nip while I was there. So now when I stand out in the cold for a long time, my hands just feel really wonky. But we got the mile out of the way, and that's all that matters. Okay, so we're headed home. Yeah, I already got my groceries. I'm about to say I'm headed to go get groceries, but I'm headed home because I got the groceries, and I'll see you guys when I get inside. All right, so I have some groceries here in our microphone, so hopefully you can hear me while I put this stuff away. So I'm going to prepare some juices. This is going to be a little reset video. That's probably going to be the title of this video. I was going to wait to like share with you guys this full story, but I don't have anything to hide, right? I don't have anything to hide. At this point, this is me, and I just kind of want to get this part out of the way before I give you all of these, especially those of you looking to join the military. Before I give you all this other stuff, I want to give you this story. And like I said, I bought some stuff to juice. You guys know from the top of this video, I actually bought a juicer because I knew how things were going. When I came back home from holiday block leave, I knew that when I came back home, I would need like a reset. And I'm not talking about a weight loss reset or anything like that, just like a reset back to my starting place. So I did buy a juicer. I'm not like doing a traditional juice cleanse. I'm just incorporating juices back into my diet. And then I bought these cute little milk containers, which I showed you guys last night, and you'll see it again in a second. But yeah, it's just kind of, so we ate a lot of food there. Well, they gave you a lot of options to eat a lot of food. Y'all know I don't really play that. So I wasn't eating like abnormal portions, getting all these snacks and muffins. I wasn't eating all that stuff. I just ate the normal meal. Now I did eat a lot more carbohydrates than I'm used to eating at home, and I feel fine. I probably lost like 5 pounds. So I'm like 5 pounds down from the weight I was when I went to MEPS. And at the end of it, it wasn't because I was doing any like crazy exercise. Like I told you guys, I work out more at home than I did in basic training, but it was just the food choices. Yesterday I did have some fried food from this place called Dave's Hot Chicken, and all last night, honey, my stomach was going wild. So like I said, and I had an adult beverage. I had like a Long Island iced tea. I think I still got it. I think it's in here. Oh, where's that? Oh, I guess my husband put it in here. It's supposed to be frozen. It was frozen, but yeah, Long Island iced tea. And yeah, so I had an adult beverage and that food. And then I ate some Freddy's steak burgers at the airport. So that's what I had yesterday. But like I said, I knew I was going to eat like that yesterday, and then today I would begin my juices. So I have juices and then like rice and rice and scallops for my meal. And then I could make myself tuna or something like that. So it's going to be real like low key, but I am going to incorporate more juices into today. So let me stop rambling so we can get on with the other story part. I need to put these groceries away and stay tuned. All right, so I'm done putting everything up. Here is all the vegetables really over here. And it looks like I didn't get that many fruits. I only got pineapple and apple, which that's fine. So I'm just gonna take everything loose. I'm only gonna make enough juice to fill the containers I have. So I have 4 of these milk containers. I can't remember the size of this, but this is looking like 32 ounces. It's pretty big. And then I'm gonna set all this up, and then we'll get to our story. All right, so here's the juicer all set up. That literally was very easy to set up. It has a little diagram right here, and it just clipped everything together. I'm not sure what this is for. It looks like the thing where you put your like mesh on top of it and then like sift things through it, but I don't know. And then obviously this is like a little cleaning brush. So I'm just gonna set this aside so I can start prepping the fruits and vegetables. All right, so before we get started, here's everything. I just have it separated into like juices. So this is gonna be more of the green juice over here, and then this is going to be the other juice. It's probably gonna end up being like red because of the beet right there. So let me get everything set up, and then let's have our little chit chat. All right, so as I cut, we're gonna talk. That's how we're gonna do it. So first, let's start off by saying that if you did not watch my full circle video about like it was really the beginning of my MEPS process as you guys know it, because I did like a backstory as to why I wanted to join the Army in the first place. Okay, everybody joins the Army or wants to join the Army for different reasons. I did not join the Army because I wanted money. I don't know about what you've heard, but I've never heard that the Army paid any significant amount of money. Like, it just wasn't a thing. I know a lot of people join also for education benefits. My parents gave me their GI Bill, so I have already had some of those benefits. And really, that's not the reason I joined. I didn't join for financial reasons. I joined, if you go back in that video, really because I felt like I was led to do so. And if you just look on my channel, it's just who I am, okay? I just believe that we don't live life in vain. We live life for a reason, that God has specific reason of putting you here on the earth, and then he'll assign you to specific people so that they can do the same thing. They can, they can refine their lives and then go out and be a disciple just as you discipled them, that kind of thing. So without getting into all of that, I joined the Army because I felt like it was the time to do this for another woman. Okay. I felt like a lot of people want to do it. A lot of people get to the place in their life where they get everything that they want and they forget about other people who are in the situation that they were once in. And I don't ever want to become that person. So like I said, you're gonna have to watch that video for like the full explanation and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't know if you guys remember, but at the end of that video, I said that God instructed me to read Job. And baby, I know exactly why now. But at the time I was like, okay, so it was the MEPS process. Like that was it. It was, you know, one of my big things was I didn't want fear to be the reason that I didn't do it either. Like, oh, I'm too old. Oh, I'm not in shape enough. Oh, I don't want to leave my family behind. Like, I don't want to leave my children behind. I didn't want those to be reasons. Okay. So, and I feel like whenever you get to a place where you're so afraid to let little material things go, not saying that family's material, like a material thing, but you're afraid to not have control over a situation, you're in a dangerous space. And I realized that in trying to make that decision as to where I wanted to go and if I wanted to leave the children with my husband, that I was trying to control, an outcome. I didn't want my children to have a similar experience as I did as a child. And I'm not God, okay? I'm not God. I can't control situations and outcomes. So I went through the whole process. So I told you guys about reception. And I'm not going to like go into like little details like that because I have videos coming out for like those specific points. But I'll say this. I went to reception, and once I got to reception, I quickly realized that this is not going to be anything like I thought it would be. The way that they speak to you at MEPS is not even, it's nothing in comparison to the way that they speak to you at reception. Okay. It's like, it just keeps going downhill. And then when you move to basic training, you're talked to even worse. And like I said, I'll go into detail later by what I mean by spoken to even worse, but it's like, it's degrading in a way that I have never experienced before in my 29 years of living. So we were picked up by our drill sergeants at reception, and it wasn't too bad. I was just kind of like, I was excited to go to basic training. We had been at reception for a week, so I was ready to go. And physically, I was ready to go. You guys know I had been working out. At this point, I was showing girls in the Bay how to do push-ups and things like that. So the workout portion for me wasn't something that I was concerned about. So we get to reception to where our drill sergeants come pick us up. And I noticed that I have a black drill sergeant. And, just being a sister in that kind of environment, it's just, you're excited when you see other people who are like you, because there's so many people who are not like you. And I said this, I've never felt so black before in my life. And I don't have a problem with being black, okay? I just never felt so ostracized being black in my life. So to have a drill sergeant that was black, I was like, okay, at least I'll have somebody around in case if someone does me like something wrong, that will speak up for me. That's what my thing was. Not no sister girl. I didn't expect for her to show me any favoritism or anything like that. I just, expected for someone to be able to know what a black person goes through in a setting like this and speak up if wrong was being done. So long story short is we get to the drill pad, like we get to basic training, like after we do the first 100 and all that kind of stuff, we get to the place where we're going to be staying and all this kind of things like that. And of course we're getting smoked because it's the first day. And it was hard. But my mom used to make me do like little exercise like that when I would get in trouble when I was younger. So though it was hard, like I said, that's not the part that was the hardest. The part that was the hardest was listening to, because no one was degrading me at that point. Like it wasn't, these degrading things weren't, I don't think ever directed towards me in that way. Just to hear people's children, somebody's mom, somebody's aunt be degraded and belittled like that just really bothered my spirit. And it probably has a lot to do with, what I do, like my life's work, I'm gonna call it that. Like it probably has a lot to do with, I'm an advocate for people. So to be in the midst of people being literally torn down, it just didn't sit well with me. So you couple that with the intensity of being smoked and things like that, I was having a hard time that first 72 hours. So we got our phones and we were able to like call home. So I called home to my husband and I'm like, we only got 5 minutes, honey. And word to the wise, never start crying on the phone when you are under a time crunch, because then you leave the other person kind of suspended in air, right? Like they don't know if you're okay. They don't know what's going on. So I call him and I'm like, honey, I hate it here. I hate it here. And he's like, oh, honey, calm down. It's okay. You know, like, do you want to come home? He's like asking me things like that. And I'm like, I hate it here. I hate it. Like, I was literally sobbing. All of the girls who were in the row with me, like, because it was all girls, like, on this side, we were all crying. Like, it was just bad. Okay. But like I said, at that point, I still didn't have any, like, I wasn't like, oh, I want to go home. I was just like, this is going to be hard. So we go upstairs, we get all our beds assigned and stuff like that. And at this point, the friends that I made, like my battle buddy friends that I made at reception, they all were in different platoons. So because of our last names, that's how they separated. I was in the platoon with people that I didn't really speak to in reception. And it's not that I didn't speak to them because I didn't want to speak to them. They didn't speak to me. So I felt very much alone. And I was one of two black girls in my platoon. The other black girl who was in my platoon, she didn't acknowledge that she was black. If that's, you get my drift there. So I'm already feeling very much ostracized, but it's not really a new feeling. But I'm like, this is gonna be okay, whatever. So we start getting smoked again, and they're going around. They're saying very mean things. Like one of the things that they were doing was they were trying to find people who were older just to kind of like pick on them. They're like, oh, you come over here. You look old as shit. Like just saying stuff like that. And I remember one girl was like, you look old as shit. How old are you? And the girl was like 21. Like they were just doing a lot of things like that. They never called on me. I know people say it all the time. I don't look like I'm about to be 30, but I am. So I never got like picked apart out of a group like that. So we're like doing the push-ups and stuff like that. Now, mind you, I know this might be a little TMI, but I was on my period like at that time. And y'all know I use like the menstrual cup. So I'm doing all these push-ups and stuff like this. I had asked one of the drill sergeants, could I use the bathroom when we did the first 100? And he just stared at me. He didn't say yes or no. And I didn't want to get in trouble for moving. So I didn't move, honey. So when we're doing all these push-ups and stuff, I'm still sad because I got 5 minutes on the phone to talk to my husband. All the emotions from people being dogged out and degraded from behind me. And now I've got I'm doing push-ups. I'm jumping down on the ground, getting into the front leaning rest position and then getting to the position of attention, up and down, up and down. And I can literally feel the blood in the cup, like doing too much. So at this point, I'm feeling like less than human, like I'm unclean and just like I just need, can I gather myself? Can I use the bathroom? I'm feeling like very much like an animal, like an animal. So it made me a bit more emotional. So I'm doing the push-ups or whatever. And then two of the drill sergeants come over and was like, basically screaming at me for not getting down into the position the right way. So they were doing the 8-count T push-up. And if you know the movement, it's basically like a step-by-step movement of the hand release push-up. Now y'all know I can do real push-ups. Like I can do a significant amount of real push-ups. So the T push-ups are easier for me. So it wasn't that I couldn't do them. It was just the situation, the pad, the blood. It was just a lot going on. So I was kind of getting down there in a way that wasn't, I guess, how she wanted me to get down there. So they come up to me and she's like whispering into my ear, basically, you're the weakest link. Why the F you can't get up the right way, trainee, and just doing all this. And I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to do it the way that she's telling me to do it. And my back starts burning. So I'm like, I just can't do this. And why did I say that? I said, I just can't do this. And she goes in on me, like in. Okay. And I'm like, and I don't know, something just must have flipped. Like, I felt like a child again, and a child in the worst way. I felt like a helpless child, like a child that was being mistreated. And then there were other adults around watching a child. That's what it felt like. It was a very different feeling. And y'all know before I left, like my mom and stuff moved here. So it was just like, everything just collided in one instant, and it was like a lot. So I stood up and she's like in my face yelling at me. And once, especially at the beginning, once one drill sergeant starts yelling at you, they kind of like look at each other and then they all get on you and they all just start yelling at you. So they all came over there yelling as well, not knowing, what had went on. And I'm like, I want to go home. And she whispers into my ear. She's like, yeah, you could want to go home, but you're going to give 110%. And that's a very long process. And she said it like that. And when she said that, I'm like, wait, so you can't go home if you want to go home? I mean, I know I swore in, but if something happens and you want to go home or you need to go home, you mean to tell me you're not allowed to go home? And then in that instance, I felt like a caged dog. I'm not going to lie. And I just broke down. And baby, when I tell you I broke down, One of you guys asked me how was I feeling on a certain day. I'm gonna put the comment on the screen. I had a full-on mental breakdown. And they pulled me into the CQ desk, which is like where all the drill sergeants are. And she was like, I never do this. And she was kind of pretending as though she wanted to help me out. But my spirit, okay, the Holy Spirit said, don't you go and delving in too much information. So when she was asking me questions, she was just asking me like, does your, have you ever been away from home? And things like that, not knowing how old I am. She was asking me these questions and I'm like, yeah. She was like asking me if my mom, did I need to talk to my mom and things like this? And I'm like, no. I'm looking away while I'm saying this whole time because you're not really allowed to look at them, but just my spirit just wouldn't let me settle into divulging too much of my business to her. And I didn't realize why. So she's asking me all those questions and she's like, how old are you, trainee? And I was like, 29. And the question that she asked me before that was, well, she said how old I am. I said 29. And then she asked me if I had any children. And I said, yeah. And she asked me how old were the children. And I said 14 and 4 because my son had turned 14 while I was at reception. And she looks over at the other drill sergeant and she says, she 29. I was crying at this point in time. She said she over there crying and she's 29 and has a 14-year-old. But it was the spirit in which she said it in that was just very like, you know what I mean? Like very much like a bully. And I started breaking out even more. I'm telling you, at the end of this time, I couldn't even breathe. Like I didn't know where I was. I couldn't breathe. I had a full-on mental breakdown. And one of the things I heard was, they were like, I'm calling MPs and get her out of here. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't call the MPs because somebody's crying. So that was one of those little bull crap tactics that they try to use to scare me. And I'm like, and then she's like, go outside. And I'm like, wait, so you're going to make me cry? And then send me outside to kind of like embarrass me in front of everybody else. I didn't leave. I did not leave. I refused to leave. I refused to leave out of the building, out of the CQ desk, because I understood what she was trying to do. And it was very much giving bullying. So I sit there and eventually she was like, get out of here. And I left outside there and I just kind of stood to the side and finished my whole little crying little spell, little tangent. Okay. And she did ask me, she was like, are you suicidal? Do you feel like you're going to hurt anybody? Do you feel like you're going to hurt yourself? Just asking me very, you know what I'm talking about, the way how she was talking to me. And I'm just like, no. And even though I felt very sad at the moment, my spirit was just like, something told me, just don't do that. Don't say that anything is wrong with you. Don't say nothing about being anxious. Don't say anything about that. This is not the time for that. So I didn't. I just left it alone. I calmed down. Everything was everything. So the next day, at this point, 2 other girls were chaptering out because of suicidal, suicide stuff. They were chaptering out, and I had to battle buddy one of the girls to behavioral health, which is basically where, they deal with mental health and stuff like that. So I battle buddy one of the girls there, and I'm like, I want to go home. And she's basically telling me, well, they're not going to take it serious unless, basically you not threaten to kill yourself. You actually like act on something like that. Or if you've been in a mental hospital before. And I just wasn't willing to do that. I wasn't willing to sit there and act like I was crazy when I really wasn't. So I just kind of went through the days and I'm like, Lord, I'm just not going to be able to go home. I set off to do this and I'm going to have to finish this out, even though I am very certain that this is not for me. But even though it's not for me, I want to know why it is that you sent me here. Like, why would you send me to an environment like this? Why? And the picture that is painted of what it is nothing like how it really is. Why would you send me here? If you're calling me to do this type of work, why would you send me in an environment like this? I'm like, I was so perplexed. And I remember, so the next day I wrote a sick call slip because that night my chest was very tight. It felt like the room was spinning. I had a panic attack and I never had a panic attack like that before. I have had like a very intense emotional breakdown before, but it was never in the presence of anyone else. And I'm one of those people, like, in order for me to really get understanding about something, I've got to cry about it. That's just me. That's just how I roll. You guys saw that when I told you guys my family story. I haven't been troubled by that situation since. sense. It's my way of getting an understanding from God. When I cry about it, when I really break down about something, I understand that it's going to be a whole different route. And I'm willing to go through what that's going to be. So I had kind of like, okay, let me go to behavioral health and see if I can get like, I don't know, some sort of counseling while I'm here. Girl, I signed I signed a little sick call slip and I got in a sick call line. And one of my drill sergeants, so not the lady who was doing all this stuff, one of the other drill sergeants was like, I put on the, I forgot what I put on the paper, but it was something like stress. I let them know that I want to see behavioral health. And he was like, what the F you want us to do with this? And I'm thinking like, I don't know. He said, you trying to see behavioral health? And I'm like, yes. So he goes into the CQ office with my sick call slip and tells the drill sergeant, the lady who the black lady who I'm telling you guys about, who tells her, and he said, you authorized this? And she looked at him and she's like, no, I didn't authorize that. And she acted like she didn't even know what happened the previous day. Like nothing had happened. Basically like I was just crying. Like I was just being a crybaby. She acted like that's how she was acting about it. And she's like, no, I didn't authorize it. So she then brings me into the first sergeant's office and tells him about it. And he's like, I ain't no effing medical professional, and just kind of tossed me away, like, let her deal with it. But they were letting the person deal with it who was initiating all of the foolishness. You know what I mean? So I go stand. She told me to go back to formation. So I go back in the formation, and she calls me up to write me a counseling. Now, counseling is something like a write-up. When you get so many counselings, you can get like an Article 15, which will chapter you out of the Army in basically a dishonorable way. So I didn't realize that at first, but she gave me a counseling. And I'm like, and I will read to you the counseling. I have it. It's in the room. It was very mean. Like, it was like she was up here screaming like a pig, and it was just very rude. And I was so perplexed. And then I looked down on the paper, and the first sergeant actually signed it. So when you have a problem with one of the drill sergeants, what you do is you then go above their head. But how am I going to go above your head when the person above your head is along in the scheme as well? So because I am who I am, I quickly picked up on that this wasn't going to be a situation where I was going to be able to do the right thing in the way of, if this is wrong, say something about it. I wasn't going to be able to do that in that setting. So later on that day, I again had another breakdown, because from the point of me going into that office crying until I left, she tortured me. She made it her business to do things to torture me. It was bullying. It was harassment. And everybody knew about it. She made it her business. It was almost like she said, oh, she's the weak link, in the sense that like she's emotionally weak, and I'm gonna get her. That's basically what it was. So yeah, we was in the classroom, and I went into the bathroom, and I was just like, I saw another girl. She was like crying because she was like, one of the girls who ended up chaptering out for like suicide or something like that. They put her on suicide watch, and she was crying and stuff like that. And then there was me, and I realized that this was actually very cult-like and very much, you're in here. I don't care what was told to you. I don't care what you thought it was. You know, you're in here and this is it. And this was the day they had the chaplain come and speak. And one of the first things the chaplain said is, I can help you. If you need me, come and speak to me, but I can't get you out of trouble, and I can't get you out of the Army. So it just all started to click to me of like, oh baby, you're not leaving. You're not leaving. It don't matter how hard this is, how much this mentally might destroy you, you're not going nowhere. And I broke down. I remember walking into the bathroom and literally like sliding down the wall. And you have to walk around with battle buddies at all times. So the battle buddy that I was in there with, like I stumbled and I like slid down the wall. And I remember like sitting on the floor in just a haze of like, God, why would you send me here? I'm stuck here. I remember saying that I'm stuck here. I'm never going to be able to get out of here. I'm just going to have to stay here. I'm going to be abused and mistreated. And I was pouring. I was like sobbing. And I remember the girl saying, you can't think about it like that. You can't think about it like that. And she turns around and she says, somebody get some help. Cause I couldn't feel my body, honey. I was drifting out. And she said, somebody get some help. And I I dug within me and mustered up enough strength to tell her, do not do that. The Holy Spirit was like, if she calls somebody in here and you try to get out of here on some mental health stuff, it's going to be hell to pay. Don't do that. Do not do that. There is nothing wrong with you. I remember God really, really planting that in me. Like, don't tell anybody you're anxious, because this ain't no anxiety. You understand what's going on. There's nothing wrong with you. So when she was trying to call somebody out there, I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. So she didn't call anybody in there. It took me a little bit, but I pulled myself together. I wiped off my eyes. Good thing we had to wear these crazy goggles. I put those goggles on. I walked out there. And for the next few days, I just walked around in sort of a haze. I never really understood that look that people have in their eyes, especially like when they leave like prison and stuff like that. It's just a look of like, it's kind of hopelessness. Like you're just kind of staring off into the abyss, and it's a very hopeless look. But I had a hopeless look because I felt hopeless. I felt like I had made the worst decision of my life. I'm leaving the vegetables in there because I want to sit down and talk to you guys. Yeah, I felt like I had made the worst decision of my life, and then there was no one who could save me, because at this point, I don't have my phone. And even if I did have my phone, there's nothing that my husband can do. So I feel like nobody could save me. And then the person that I thought would speak up for me if something wrong was being done to me was the one who was actually initiating the wrong being done to me. So it was a mind-blowing experience. So long story short, every single night I would get under my blanket, because we're all in a room together. So it's not like you have very much time to yourself, and we have a certain bedtime. So every single night I would get under my blanket. I put the blanket over my head and I would just pray. And I'm like, Lord, if I have to stay here, I'm going to stay here and I'll be close to you. Like, we are going to walk through this thing together. Not once did I say I wanted to go home. I'm just like, we're just going to walk through it together. There's a reason why you sent me here. Like, you didn't just cause me to abandon my life. I love home. Like, I love home. I love being around my family. Like, you didn't cause me to abandon all of that to send me here to be abused. Like, that's not the God that I know. So I just began to have conversation with God, and I would stay up and read my Bible and just do it like that. So a few weeks passed, and we do this thing called the medical lanes, which is basically where you learn what a combat medic does. And we had to carry each other across the field. So this is in short what it is. We had to carry each other across the field in different body holds, as they would do in like a war situation if someone was hurt. So on this particular exercise, I was made to do the exercise twice. For what reason? Because they can do that. They can deem that they like you or that they don't like you and just make you do whatever they want you to do. So I had to do the exercise twice. We had to crawl across a field with a tourniquet around our arm, so no circulation in one of your arms. Crawl across the field like that. And at the other end of the field, we had to take the tourniquet off of our arm and then tie the tourniquet on our partner's leg. Tie the tourniquet on our partner's leg and then drag our partner back across the same field that we crawled across. And the crawling part, okay, cool. But when it came time to pick up the girl, we had to find someone who was similar in weight to us. And I don't know if we were similar. I don't know. But whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm pretty strong. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I picked homegirl up and tried to drag her, and I could not. Like, physically, my back was like, do it again and I'm going to snap. Do it again and I'll be in half. So I'm like, okay. So I tried. The man screaming at me like, what the F are you doing? Hurry the F up, doing all that. Mind you, this is my second time crawling across the field. I didn't have to drag her twice. I had to crawl twice. So I'm like, tired at this point, but my back is literally like burning. So long story short, everybody else comes across the field and I could not pick her. Like, I physically could not pick her up anymore. It doesn't matter how much. There was no extra. There wasn't any amount of like that I could get to be able to pick her up. I could not. So I drug her just a little bit, and then they all left, and basically he just let me stand right there and like stop the exercise and called me like weak and all this kind of stuff in the process. But yeah, so girl, where's my watch? Oh, my husband. Yeah, just kind of degraded me in the process of not being able to complete it. So we went through the day, and then the next day was supposed to be like a tower. So we did like it's called a treadwheel tower, basically where you just climb up and it's like, it's not an obstacle course. It's like a fear of heights type of course like that. Okay. So the next day was that. And my drill sergeant, I had already told them in a circle, because we had to get in the circle and kind of like say why we joined, and say why we joined. And there was something else we had to tell them, or our hobbies and, things like that. We had to tell them stuff like that. So in that, I was like, they asked, was anyone afraid of heights? And I said that I was. I'm really not afraid of heights. I've grown to learn, but I thought that I was. So she was looking forward to me being afraid of heights that day and going through that course. Anyway, so I woke up the next morning and I could not walk. Mind you, our bay was on the 4th floor and you had to walk upstairs. I was done. I was done. And on top of me not being able to walk because my back hurt so bad, we were doing like shuttle sprints, and they didn't allow us, like the form and the way that they do things, me, massage therapist brain, it's just not right. Like, it's not right. And not being able to stretch and cool down before you like work to death, as far as being smoked and doing exercises, it lends itself to someone getting injured, honestly. So one of my legs, like one of the muscles in my quads, had like pulled. It wasn't anything serious, I could tell. It just was a result of me not stretching properly before I ran at full speed. Okay, so one of my legs was hurting and my back was hurting. And the next morning I was like, okay, I'm going to sick call. Like, I know the sick call line, they say don't go to sick call because you're going to be sitting here and all this kind of stuff. Their little saying is the quickest way to leave this place is to graduate. That is the saying, because some people literally sit there for months waiting to chapter out of the army, or just waiting to heal from an injury and stuff like that. I'll get to that video way later, baby. But sometimes, like I said, you could be there for a year. Like, you could be there just sitting. And so I was kind of afraid to go to sick call, but then I was like, no, I'm going to sick call. My back hurts. The Holy Spirit was like, go. So I went. So the next morning I did the same thing I did when she gave me that counseling. I filled out my sick call slip, and I put that my knee was hurting, and then I put my back was hurting. Now, if you have like a knee pain or an injury to your leg or hip or something like that, they want to rehabilitate you. They do not want to send anybody home broken, so to speak. So if you break something, you're going to be sitting there until it heals. If you need a surgery, you're going to be sitting there until you heal from the surgery. If that takes a year, you're going to be there a year. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a process of you sitting there. You don't just get to go home. It doesn't matter if you're hurt. They don't care. So so I was like, they were calling people and they were separating people from like, oh, you're going to go to this place, which is like the physical therapy, and then you guys are going to go to sick call. So I had back pain and there was a lot of people out there. So they were like sending people out of the line. And one of the girls needed to go get her mask from upstairs. So I was like, she needed me to battle buddy her. So I battle buddy her. And by the time I came down, they were only sending people in this direction. Like, they were only sending people to sick call. So I said, thank you, Jesus. And they let me straight in. So long story short, once I got to sick call, the doctor he called me back and he did an examination of my back. I could barely walk at this point. So it wasn't like I was faking that I was in pain or anything like that. I just didn't know what they were going to do about it. So he sits me down and he's like, I had to like pull up my shirt, and he checked my spine and he was like, you have scoliosis. And I'm like, I have 2 kids. I got checked for scoliosis at MEPS. I never heard that. But I didn't say that to him. I said, okay. He sends me to get an x-ray done and all this kind of stuff. He said, so what do you want to do? You want to you want to suffer through, or you want to go home? And baby, if I'd never felt any joy before in my life, I said, I want to go home. I want to go home. So he immediately started the process. It's called existing prior to service. And basically what they do is acknowledge that you had an injury that MEPS didn't catch or that you didn't know about. And it could be both. MEPS didn't catch it and you didn't know about it. And you get to chapter out of the Army. Okay, so I went that route, and it was, even still, some people who EPTS have to stay there longer, but I didn't have to do any physical therapies. He cleared all that. He was like, I called him on a good day. It was nothing but the Holy Spirit. Like, it was a great day, and he was very kind and understanding. And I have gotten different feedback from other people about that doctor specifically. But honey, on that day, God said, hey, I'm here. So 3 days later, I came back, and basically he signed off on the process, and I became a non-trainer. I became a non-trainer. And honey, when I tell you my drill sergeant, the one who was like harassing me, was so mad. She was mad, and not mad in a way that any, like, you got to know, you know what I mean? So, yeah, because once you get on profile, which is what they gave me, they can't make you do certain things. Like they can't make you, they can't smoke you and things like that. So once I got on profile, honey, she was mad. She was mad, and she continued to still make me do stuff. So one day we were going on a ruck, and I still had like my ruck. I had all my equipment. I had my ruck. They made me pack my ruck, and she told me to carry my ruck to the cash-evac, right? Which is like the truck that we all sit on when you go into the event and you're on profile. So I carried my ruck to the cash-evac. The next day, my back was literally like burning again. So I went back to sick call. And this day I went back to sick call. It was to finish the EPTS, like that form saying that I was trapped in the military. So he was basically like, are you feeling okay? How you doing today? And all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, my back kind of hurts. And he's like, oh, why? Like, I thought you said that your back gets better when you rest. And I said, well, yesterday I carried my ruck. Now I said that not trying to get anybody in trouble, not trying to like say, oh, this person made me. I just said it. Okay, girl, why did I do that? Why did I do that? He was livid. He said, carry your ruck. I put you on profile. Why are you carrying anything? What's the name of the drill sergeant that made you do that? And I'm like, oh, snap. Oh, snap. I can't do that. Because he was typing as he was saying that. So I know that he was going to type down what I was going to say. And I tried to dance around saying anybody's name. And he went to a different question. He came back. He said, so what's the drill sergeant's name? And I told him, well, the drill sergeant who was driving the cash-evac was, and it was the drill sergeant who was picking on me. And he walked me back to my battery and told the captain to come into the office. And I don't know what he told the captain. All I do know is I gave my form to the drill sergeant at the desk, and she was like, okay, cool. You can go over there and have a seat on the bleachers. You're a non-trainee now, so yeah. And no soon as the doctor left out of the battery, she said, you know what? On second thought, come over here. Take your camelback off. And she just starts giving me all kind of instructions. But I had already felt it. my eyes were already open as to what just happened. Because he went in there and said that I told him something about them making me carry something, they were going to make me suffer. They were going to make me suffer for telling on them. So she makes me carry around this little like water bottle and all this kind of stuff. And they take me back to the field. So I go to the field, and as I'm walking by the drill sergeant, she's like texting on her phone, the drill sergeant who was picking on me, the black lady. She's texting on her phone, and I hear her say, yeah, I'm going to make that bee have a personal assistant until she leave this place. And I was like, I almost started crying right there. Because I'm like, she really could do whatever she wants to do to me, and everybody could be in on it, and nobody could do anything. No higher up, nobody can do anything. And I don't think that the doctor meant in saying that they would retaliate and be like, bully me even more just because I said something, but that's what happened. So, girl, from there it went downhill. And I can't even sit here and go into all of the details, not in this video, as to what happened, but it was just things like that. So much so to where everybody noticed it. Everybody in the entire battery knew that she was picking on me. And some people like will come up to me and be like, are you doing okay today? It's wrong what she's doing, but one guy told me I ain't gonna say nothing. And I'm like, well, thank you. You shouldn't have said nothing to me. Like, because if you stand up for someone else, you then are going to be subject to the same treatment that they're getting. It's wild. But all that went on, and God is so good. God is so good. He is so good, okay? Because she tried all kind of stuff. And it seemed like she was succeeding at all of it, but God is good. Because here I am. I'm at home, and I have a story to tell, honey. And over the next however long it takes, you're going to get the story, the lessons that I learned during the process. But the biggest lesson that I learned is God is sovereign. God watches over his word. And when you follow his direction, there is not a devil in hell. There's not a demon from hell, okay, that can stop and that can hold the assignment of God. Okay? They can hold the assignment of God. So am I upset that I went? Absolutely not. I'm glad that I went, because I would have never stopped my wondering if that was something that I should have done. And that, baby, I learned lessons, and saw a side of life that I didn't even know existed. And I'm here to tell the story, okay? So, now that I sat here, told you guys how that went, because y'all gonna ask me how I chaptered out and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna refer you back to this video. Let's go finish making our juices. All right, so I'm done making the juice for today. My husband texted me and told me that the funnel cake truck is gonna be here, and they usually come like once a month. I wish it would have came yesterday, but since they didn't come yesterday, I'm gonna have some funnel cake today, okay? Cool, so that's just what we're gonna do. And since I'm having funnel cake today, and I haven't eaten yet, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, I went ahead and ordered myself some Jimmy John's, which I've been wanting. I usually get an unwich sandwich, but I'm just gonna get my sandwich like regular today. So I think that's all. We're gonna save my juice for tomorrow. I'm probably still gonna go to the gym because I want to lift some weights today, very light weights because I don't have time. And sit in the sauna was really what I wanted to go. So it's 11:49. I still have not gotten to updating the website and doing my craft stuff of the day, but I have all the videos that I needed to get done knocked out. So cleaning up my space definitely helped because I probably wouldn't be done till like 2 o'clock, and that's not gonna work out because that's when everybody kind of starts to head home. So, as always, if you have a question, ask a question, and I will see you guys in the next video. Our next video is probably going to be me loading my massage stuff. Well, my next video like this, like my next vlog style video, it's probably going to be loading my massage stuff, and I'm probably going to bring you guys on a massage like appointments this weekend. So I'm thinking Friday. I know I'm going to work Sunday. My husband has an event to do on Saturday, so I'm not going to do that. I don't know. Friday, maybe Friday. Depends on how crazy Friday is. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. Oh, another thing. So, the tax forms. I have my tax forms for Soothe, the mobile Soothe. But Zeal's not releasing the tax forms until the 31st of January. So if you did Zeal appointments and you made over $600, you're gonna have to wait until then to get your tax form. And they printed it out like an actual, like this is an actual tax form. Soothe did. I haven't seen Zeal's yet. I'll show you guys when I get it. But as always, if you have a question, ask a question, and I will see you guys in the next video.